Hi all, this is Simona Rich, and in this video we are going to analyze the birth chart of Donald Trump, and it seems that we have an accurate chart for him, but it's funny the way that it's written in astro.com in source notes. Since the document was evidently posted by Trump, some caution is advised even though there is no evidence that the document was altered. So let's hope that this is an accurate chart for Donald Trump, and let's see what it shows. Firstly, we can see that his ascendant is actually 29 degrees of Leo. So this makes him, actually it really suits him, because we can see also that Mars is his chart ruler and it's located in the 12th house. But Mars in Leo would give a person who will take action to create something that is extraordinary, that is luxurious, that is one of a kind, to leave a name for himself. And this is what he did with his buildings. They are modern, luxurious, and really one of a kind. So this, I think, is an accurate chart for him. And since the ascendant is in the 29 degrees of Leo, that really makes the character Leo-like, the last degrees of the sign do that. And since his chart ruler Mars is in the 12th house, this gives him a lot of secretive action. So there are many things that he does behind the scenes to do with his career and also to do with his family that the public knows nothing about. And also we can see that his chart ruler is in a positive aspect trine to the moon, which is excellent for public personalities because it gives public appreciation of the person, and it's easy for him to become seen for what he does, to be in the spotlight. It's kind of easy for him to appear in the spotlight, meaning that when he takes action, it's kind of, it attracts attention. So these people can naturally become well known. But his Mars, the chart ruler, is squaring the midheaven, which means that some public will not like what he does. And also we can find that Venus in conjunction with Saturn is sextile to midheaven, which again gives public appreciation. So either people love him or hate him, but they have strong emotions about him because of Mars involved. And Venus in conjunction with Saturn positively aspecting midheaven would give undying love of some people, undying love of also some of his friends and family members, because we find these planets to be located in the sign of Cancer, which stands for family, and it also stands for the nation itself. So he will always have undying support, undying love from some people. And a lot of his motivation actually is to gain power. Whatever he does, he may not even know it himself because it's Pluto in the 12th house involved, but a lot of his actions are motivated to gain power and to gain control. And going back to Mars in the 12th house, it says so much about him. And it also explains why he takes action that confuses people, and it confused me too. It seems he will support the people, but then he does exactly the opposite, and people just are confused by his actions. So that's what Mars in the 12th house does, because 12th house is ruled by Pisces, the sign that is mystical and chaotic, lacks clarity. So that's what we get. And also this placement of Mars, his chart ruler, indicates that it's best for him to work behind the scenes, that he will gain much more by working behind the scenes. And people who have Mars in the 12th house, it's very difficult for them to keep their good public persona, because anything that they do that is bad, it will be emphasized by the public. So it's kind of people not having this placement and having more favorable placements for being in the public eye. They may get away with so much more than people who have Mars in the 12th house. So the previous occupation, and maybe he's still involved in it, I have no idea, I'm not watching really this person, suited him more, because he was not the one building the buildings in the public, but he was the one behind these plans and everything. So working behind the scenes, and then we see those buildings arise. This is much better occupation for him, and also because of his midheaven being in the sign of Taurus, which is about lasting structures, building something that lasts. It's about land and real estate and money. So working behind the scenes, manifesting something as such, definitely suits him more than being a president, though he has a heavy Cancer sign. And you will see that you may know that many country rulers have heavy Cancers, because Cancer is about family and about the nation. Now moving to his second house, we find, of course, that Jupiter is there, which is one of the best planets to have in this house, because it gives abundance. But we also find that Neptune is there too, which may indicate unlimited abundance, because it dissolves boundaries. But it also shows that he is a person that doesn't hold on to his money, that he can spend, especially if he is moved by people because they don't have enough, for example, and he becomes very compassionate and he gives. So he is not a person who is greedy. He shares his wealth, and he will also share his wealth with his partners. And it shows that daily work, attention to detail, makes him money, and also partnerships are beneficial to him, and law dealings, interestingly. So for example, if he employs law, if something goes wrong, rather than trying to solve the situation between each other or whatever, between some company, that actually would result in more wealth for him. And also being fair in business dealings would gain him money. And when it comes to money, we can find that midheaven is ruled by Venus, which means that looking at the 11th house where it's located, setting long-term goals is going to help him in his career. Friendships are going to be helpful in his career, and treating his family in a loving way is also going to help him. Now looking at his 4th house, very interesting combinations we find there. Firstly, nadir is in Scorpio, indicating family secrets, and also Scorpio together with Lilith would indicate that it's very likely that the mother had some kind of occult blood, some kind of spiritual psychic powers or something like this. And the mother impacted him greatly, but the impact wasn't only positive. It was both positive and negative. The mother was, since Moon is located in Sagittarius, it can indicate foreign mothers, and indeed Donald Trump's mother was foreign, and we find that the Moon in Sagittarius is present in the birth charts of his son Barron Trump, of his daughter Ivanka Trump, and of his first wife Ivana Trump. And this is very often that we find in family charts that some placements are identical. Now looking at Lilith in the 4th house in the sign of Sagittarius, it indicates that the mother was very convinced of her views and willing to change that. And also looking at the sign itself and the moon, the mother was probably very independent, individualistic, traveling, wanting to explore the world or other cultures. And also because of the Lilith's location there, it shows actually when Lilith is found in the 4th house that the child was neglected, that the mother was more concerned with her own things to do, with her own travels or whatever she did, learning, reading, more than looking after the children. So emotional connection with the child is missing, and that's why maybe he is not attached to his own children. If you see the way that he acts with children of his own, it's there is no that emotional connection, and he has favorites. So he really likes Ivanka Trump, so that's kind of like he likes her appearance. So it's like no attachment to children. He's just judging them by the way that they look, and then he likes that person. So that's unfortunate, and it's difficult for children with such placements not to repeat the mistakes of parents, but with much self-awareness that is of course possible. And in the chart it is shown that he is a person who loves freedom. So firstly, the moon is in Sagittarius, which gives the love of freedom and conviction of your beliefs because of the Lilith's presence there. And also he has Gemini sign active with North Node there, Sun and Uranus. And Sun itself, only Sun in Gemini would signify a person who loves freedom and independence, and they don't want to be constrained. And since Uranus is there too, that's magnified. And unfortunately, because of their negative aspects to the moon, it makes him too unstable, too unpredictable, and this upsets the public. The opposition of these two planets to the moon means that unpredictability upsets the public. So the more unpredictable he is, the worse off he is. We can find the North Node in the 10th house, and this shows that actually he achieved the life's purpose, which is to be known for what he does, to be known in his occupation, and that's exactly what he achieved. And also North Node in conjunction with the Sun and Uranus would also indicate that there is in this life, their lesson is also to become kind of famous, well-known, seen by the public. That's what happened. And also to be known for your uniqueness. And of course, we don't have any other person similar to Donald Trump, so he is very unique. But he is very unpredictable, and this damages his relationships with the public. And now moving to the... And also I can see that since the 10th house also has the sign of Gemini there, his work is a lot about communication, and especially communication online or texting. So he's a person who loves all sorts of communication, especially through gadgets. And the work itself involves a lot of communication, so he could be always on the phone or texting someone. Now moving to the 11th house, we find that 3 planets are there: Mercury, Saturn, and Venus. Saturn and Venus conjunction in the 11th house indicates that his long-term goals are likely to be achieved. You see, there is also just one affliction, and it's by the benefic. So it shows that if he makes up his mind to achieve something and he really goes for it, his dreams will come true. This is a very positive thing to have. Venus in the 11th house shows that the person's dreams can come true. Jupiter in the 2nd house shows that he will never lack. And Jupiter in the 2nd house also shows that he will probably have multiple streams of income. So these two placements are extremely good. And Mercury, let's see if it's afflicted. Oh yeah, I should discuss that also. So Mercury in the 11th house shows that, and it's an afflicted Mercury. The sign of, it's arguable, but the sign of Cancer is not really suitable for Mercury. It can be argued about this. Not everyone agrees with that, but basically this would give friends that are not reliable. So some friends of his are reliable, long-term friends, especially among family members or related to him, and some are not reliable. Some are the ones that can deceive him and make him lose money. And then this placement also stands for his mind. Mercury in Cancer would give interest in history, interest in family roots, interest in the cultural roots of the country, and also Venus in Cancer would give love of the country itself. But going back to this placement, it also shows that he may have strong memories, clear memories of his family, but of his family life in childhood. But because Mercury is afflicted by Neptune, this is a very bad affliction actually, and it's the only aspect that Mercury has, and this gives unclarity, lack of clarity in the mind, chaos in the mind, and deception. This is the sign, people. Mercury square Neptune, and it's the aspect is becoming tighter. So deceptive qualities in a person, and these people are liable to be deceived, and they can deceive others. So because there are also placements of honesty for him, for example, his ascendant is in Leo, Mars is there, also he has the moon in Sagittarius. So these are the placements of honesty, but this placement is really bad for the mind. So it could be that he just says what's on his mind and then he changes his mind, and doesn't reflect on it because there is no clarity in the mind, and so he ends up confusing people. And that explains so much, this aspect explains so much why he says the things that he says, because it's not, there is no help to his mind. The planet of Neptune is very hard to manage. You can manage it through meditation, through, being a very good human being and always aware, reflecting on what you did. But if there is no such awareness, it will give a mind that can deceive and is prone to fantasize and believe in things that are not true and tell things that are not true. So that's unfortunate. So I've discussed all of the placements, major placements of his natal chart. I guess I should also say that since the sun is located in the 10th house, actually public opinion is very important to him. So he is suffering. We may not see that because he has Leo ascendant, so he will never show his weak side or hurt side, because Leo ascendants, if they are hurt, they show even stronger side of them. But actually, because he has the sun in Gemini, he is hurt when people hate him. And also Mercury in Cancer gives a sensitive mind, so they also try to adapt so that they are accepted. So it's actually, but of course, since he has such prominent Uranus, this gives him in trouble, because he also needs to show his individuality, that he's different from the crowd, and this gets him in trouble. So these are all the things that I have to share with you about his chart. I forgot to mention also that most of his planets are located in the 4th quarter of the chart, which shows a self-made person. These people are the most ambitious of all, and the concentration of planets is very often found in the charts of celebrities, because when all the planets are focused on in one place, it gives much more power to these people, so it's easier to notice them. Their actions have more effect. However, these kinds of placements where all the planets or most of the planets are in one location gives kind of one-sided personality. How to say, it's not a wholesome personality, and people can become caricature-like. So we find that many celebrities are like this, and that's why they're entertaining to watch. But yes, that's what these kinds of placements their effects can be as such. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care.